sir, it's just not correct.
Sorry?
It's when we tally the balance sheet, it's not
The balance sheet is not
equal.
tallying.
Yeah.
Okay, just a minute, let me see. Can you tell me the balances in your trading account? How much the balance you got in the trading account? On the credit side, tell me the amount that you are getting on the credit side.
16,80,600.
Yeah, that is correct. And gross profit you are having?
3,42,600.
That is also correct. Now, moving on to profit and loss account, tell me the balances you have got in the profit and loss account.
3,80,600.
3,80,600.
Yeah.
And tell me the credit side items in the profit and loss account. You have got gross profit of 3,42,600 on the credit side.
Yeah.
Then after that,
rent from tenant.
Rent from tenant, okay, 10,000.
Discount.
Right.
Bad debts written off.
Sorry?
Bad debts written off.
Bad debt written off. So bad debt written off is not the income, na? It is an expense. Bad debt is an expense. You're writing off the bad debt, so it will be an expense. It should be recorded on the debit side, not on the credit side, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So make that adjustment. I'm sure that you will get the answer. So on the credit side, the total amount should be 3,72,600, and in this case, the net profit will be, please write it somewhere. Net profit in the profit and loss account will be 1,49,100. 149,100. 1,49,100. This will be your net profit in the profit and loss account. Then when you will carry forward it to the balance sheet, let me also tell you the balances in the balance sheet. On the credit side, sum total of all the asset, the total value will be 5,94,100. Please write it somewhere. Balance sheet, the total of the balance sheet will be 5,94,100, and same value should be on the liability side. So make the correction, then tell your answer. I'm sure you will get the answer this time. Moving on to next question. So I have this question for you. Okay, so this is this seems to be a little lengthy question, and this might seems for you, it might seem difficult for you, but trust me, it is easy. But just let me know whether the question is clear to all of you. Is the question is visible to everyone? Halima, Hamad, Alexander.
It's visible.
Yeah, okay. So if it is visible, so start. So in this case also, in this question also, we need to prepare the final account, and for that purpose we will be preparing the trading account, the profit and loss account, and the balance sheet. All right, so everyone, just first of all, just prepare the format of all these accounts: trading, profit and loss, and the balance sheet. Then we will start posting the items in the relevant accounts one by one. Done with the format, everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So first of all, first item we have in the trial balance, is land and building. So make sure that there should be no adjustment entry on the land and building before posting it in the relevant account. So when you will look at the adjustments, you will see that there is an adjustment entry regarding land and building. So it says the adjustment item number 1. It says depreciate land and building at the rate 6%. That means we have to charge depreciation on land and building at the rate 6% per annum. All right. Okay. So everyone, I'm pretty sure that you already know how to deal with the depreciation. So first of all, we will reduce 6% from the value of land and building. So from 50,000, we will reduce 6%. And after reducing the depreciation, we will write the value of the land and building in the balance sheet. Then further, we will transfer this depreciation in the profit and loss account on the debit side. I hope this is clear to everyone. So from 50,000, we will reduce 3,000 for depreciation. I think, yeah, 6% of 50,000 will be 3,000, and this should be reduced from land and building. Then we will post it in the balance sheet, and finally, same amount of depreciation will be carried to the profit and loss account. Now, after that, we have the second item, purchase adjusted. So adjusted purchase is given in this question. And I'm sure that all of you already know the meaning of the adjusted purchase. Adjusted purchase basically means adjusted purchase basically calculated as opening stock plus purchases minus closing stock. This is the formula to calculate adjusted purchase, right? Opening stock, purchases minus closing stock. This is how we calculate purchases. And I have already told you when we have started this chapter, I told you that whenever there is adjusted purchases given in the question, we are not required to write down the value of the closing stock in the trading account. So in this case, you won't be writing closing stock on the debit side of the trading account, but closing stock should be written in the balance sheet. It will be recorded in the balance sheet, but it will not be recorded in the trading account since adjusted purchase is already given. Everybody is getting this point? Hamad, Alexander, Halima, and Steve.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
So please write down adjusted purchase in the trading account on the debit side. After, yeah, one more thing. We will always write down the value of the purchases after adjusting it with the purchase return. So before writing it in the final column of the trading account, make sure there is no purchase return. And I think the purchase return is given in the question. So in the trial balance, you can see return outward is given 2,500. So return outward is what? Return outward basically means we are returning the goods. So return outward is the purchase return. So we will write down the value of the purchases after adjusting it with the purchase return. 2,10,000 minus 2,500. Only then you will write it in the trading account. Done, everyone?
Done.
Yes,
So
sir.
the adjusted purchase will be 2,70,500. Now moving on to next item. Next we have after that we have stock as on 31st March 2008. Okay, so this is the closing stock given in the trial balance 45,000. So tell me, where do we record it now? We will only record it in the balance sheet. We won't be recording it in the trial in the trading account. So just carry forward it to the balance sheet. Please write it on the asset side, stock 45,000. Okay, moving on to the item number 4, return inward. So we are not required to adjust return inward right now. We will be adjusting it with the sales later. Okay, let's do it now. Let's do it. Sales is given in the question. Sales is 1,15,000, I guess. Yeah. Sales is how much it is? Sales is 3,85,000. Yes. So sales is 3,85,000. Right? So we will be writing it in the trading account after adjusting it with the return inward. So 3,85,000 minus 1,500, you will get 3,83,500, and this should be recorded in the trading account. Tell me, everyone, is this correct? Any doubts?
No, sir.
All right. Okay, let's move to the next item. Next, we have return outward. We have already treated return outward. Then we have wages. All right, so make sure that there is no adjustment entries given in regarding the wages, and I don't think there is any adjustment entry given in the question for wages. Depreciation, provision, insurance, salary, and outstanding salary. Okay, so there is no adjustment entry for wages, so we can write down the entire amount in the trading account on the debit side, 45,300 in the trading account. Next we have is salaries. Now salary, there is an adjustment entry given in the question regarding salary. So adjustment, come to the adjustment entry number 5. Adjustment entry number 5 is given. Here it is written, we need to provide salary to Shubho 15,000 per annum, and we have an outstanding salary of 11,500 as well. So adjustment entry number 4 and 5 both deals with the salary adjustment. Both deals with the salary. So how we will be treating it? How we are going to deal with this? Basically, we need to provide salary to the owner of the business. Shubho is the owner of the business. So we need to provide 15,000 salary to the owner, and as well as 11,500 is outstanding, that is already due. So how we will be dealing with this? So guys, we will add both these amount in the salary. We need to provide 15,000 per annum salary for Shubho, and there is an outstanding salary of 11,500. So we will add both these values with the salary given in the trial balance. So salary given in the trial balance is 39,000. We will add 15,000 more as a salary for Shubho, and then we will add further 11,500 for outstanding salary. All of you getting this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me show you how it will be done. See, let me explain. So supply is already given in the question, 39,000. So what we will be doing, we will add Shubho's salary. Shubho's salary 15,000 per annum. We will add in 39,000. Plus we have an outstanding salary. We have an outstanding salary as well of 11,500. So all of these will be added first of all, and whatever the amount that we will receive, we will enter it into the profit and loss account. In fact, we will indicate all these value in the same format in the profit and loss account. We will indicate everything in the same format in the profit and loss account. Getting my point? We will write down the final value, whatever we will get here, in the final column of the debit side of the trial of the profit and loss account. And after writing it in the profit and loss account, we will carry forward it to the balance sheet. It will be recorded in the balance sheet, and this will also be recorded in the balance sheet. So this amount needs to be adjusted with the capital. We will add 15,000 in capital. Getting my point? Plus, we will indicate 11,500 in the balance sheet as an outstanding salary. It will become the liability, outstanding salary, by the name of outstanding salary. Getting my point? So basically, when you will make the profit and loss account, this is how it will be shown in the profit and loss account. Let me help you. So in the profit and loss account, we will, on the debit side, on the debit side, we will write down the value of salary that is given in the question in the trial balance. We will add Shubho's salaries in it. Then we will also add, what do we add? We will also add outstanding salary or salary which is due. After adding all these values, we will write the final value in this column. All right. And again, when we will prepare the balance sheet, in the balance sheet we will be writing the Shubho's salary, adjusting it with the capital. We will add Shubho's salary in the capital, because ultimately this salary belongs to the owner of the business and Shubho is the owner of the business. So by when we will provide salary to Shubho, it will increase his overall capital in the business. So Shubho's salary will be added. All right. And we will further indicate outstanding salary in the balance sheet as a liability. Tell me guys, is this clear to all of you? How it will be treated? It should be treated.
Yes, sir.
Everybody
Clear.
clear? Okay. Do it quickly. Then we will move to the next item. Let me know when you are done. Okay, moving on. Done, everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Then we have office expenses, carriage inward, carriage outward, and I don't think there is any adjustment entry given in the question regarding these items. So we can directly record all these items as an expense in the profit and loss account, right? So first of all, carriage inward is a trading account related item. So we will record it in the trading account, carriage inward. Other than this, office expenses should be recorded in the profit and loss account. Carriage outward, again, profit and loss account. Discount received, it is an income. It will be recorded on the credit side of the profit and loss account. Bad debt is a loss. We will record it in on the debit side of the profit and loss account. Do it, everyone. Do it quickly. Office expenses on the debit side of the profit and loss account. Carriage inward in the trading account, 1200. Carriage outward in the profit and loss account, 2000. Discount allowed. Discount allowed is an expense. It is a loss. So we will be writing it on the debit side of the trading profit and loss account. After that, discount received, it is an income. It should be recorded on the credit side of the profit and loss account. Then bad debt is a loss. So we will be writing it on the debit side of the profit and loss account again. All right. Now, after that, we have sales. Sales is already written and adjusted. Capital we have is 1,15,000. So guys, record the value of the capital in the balance sheet on the liability side. Let me know you guys have any doubt till this point. Alexander, Halima, Hamad, Steve, any doubts?
No, sir.
You guys are doing now? You guys are preparing all the accounts? Alexander, Hamad, Halima?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So after that we have Chatterjee's loan, and the item in the trial balance, it says that this loan has been taken on at the rate 18% per annum on 1st of October 2018, and we are preparing the final account as on 31st March 2019. That means it's been 6 months since we have taken this loan, right? So we have taken this loan 6 months back. So basically we need to calculate, we will have to calculate 18% per annum. We basically will have to calculate interest at the rate of 18% per annum on this particular amount. Getting my point? So first of all, how we will be doing it? We will be writing the entire amount of loan on the liability side of the balance sheet, correct? Plus we will add the outstanding, since see in the trial balance there is nowhere it is given that interest has been paid on this amount of loan. Tell me whether it is given or not. Answer is no. Interest is paid on this loan. Sorry, interest is not yet paid on this loan. So we will have to charge the interest. So how we are going to do that? We will be writing it in the balance sheet. We will adjust it with the total amount of loan. Do it everyone quickly. Interest on loan. Done. Anybody having doubt in this particular item? Let me just explain this to you in a little detail. Just let me check what was the amount of loan. 25,000 was the amount of loan. Okay. So we will calculate. So first of all, we will write down the entire amount of loan in the balance sheet as Chatterjee's loan. Chatterjee's loan, right? So entire amount of loan will be recorded in the, will be indicated in the so loan amount was 25,000. So we will record it in the balance sheet. Plus we will add outstanding interest on loan. So for that we will have to calculate interest. So on 25,000 we have to charge 18% annum, 18% rate of interest for the entire year, but the interest is outstanding for only 6 months. So we will be calculating interest of 6 months only. So for that purpose we will multiply it by 6 by 12, right? By doing this we will be able to calculate the amount of interest. So interest amount will be 25,000 into 8%, right, into 6 upon 12. So 1,000 will be the amount of interest, right? Any doubts?
No, sir.
Okay, let me just calculate the total amount, total months. October, November, December, January, February and March. At the rate of 18% we need to calculate now. On 25,000. 18 divided by 100, it will be 4,500 into 6, and then we will divide it by 12. Okay, so 2250, sorry, 2250 will be the amount of interest. 2250 will be the amount of interest. So we will add 2250 here, and by adding this we will write down the final value in this, in the liability column. And again we will carry forward this interest in the profit and loss account as well. So we will write down here interest on loan, interest on loan 2250 on the debit side of the profit and loss account as well. Tell me, any doubts? Ahmad, Alexander, Halima, is this clear to everyone?
Yes.
Got it.
So let's move to the next item. Next we have insurance, and I can see that there is an adjustment entry regarding insurance is given in the question. Adjustment item number 3rd, insurance premium, include 250 rupees insurance premium paid in advance. So this insurance of rupees 1500 include advance insurance premium paid of rupees 250. So anybody is going to tell me how we will be dealing with this? Can anyone tell me how can we deal with this? Halima, how to do this, how to solve it? How do we record in the various accounts? Alexander?
Sir, we subtract from insurance.
We will subtract, correct. The insurance premium that is paid in advance, that should be subtracted from the insurance premium, because the amount that you are paying on advance basis, that does not relate to this particular period, because this amount is not related to this particular accounting period. Therefore we will be reducing this amount from the insurance already paid, right? And anything that is paid in advance becomes our asset, so we will record it in the balance sheet on the asset side as well, correct? So do it everyone. From 1500 that is given in the question, insurance 1500, we will reduce 250. By reducing 250 you will get 1250 rupees, right? You will record it in the profit and loss account. Insurance 1250 rupees, after reducing 250 for insurance premium paid in advance, it should be recorded in the profit and loss account. And after that, advance premium should be recorded in the balance sheet as well on the asset side by the name of advance premium, advance insurance premium. Tell me, Halima, is this clear? Hamad, is this clear? Do I need to explain it again?
No, sir.
Sir, can you write and explain?
Sorry?
Can you explain again?
Yeah, sure. Just a minute. Let me show you how it will be done. Okay. So Halima, what I'm saying is that, let's suppose this is our profit and loss account, and this is our balance sheet. Let's suppose. So in the trial balance, it is given that insurance 1500 is already given in the trial balance, and in the adjustment entry, it is given that insurance, in the total amount of insurance, there is a insurance premium of rupees 250 is already included. Insurance premium of rupees 250 that has been paid on advance basis, that is also included in this particular amount. In this amount, there is a amount of insurance premium that is paid in on advance basis. So how to deal with this? We will be reducing the insurance premium paid in advance premium. All right, advance premium of rupees 250, correct? And the remaining amount should be indicated in the profit and loss account. Just a minute. So basically here you will write insurance 1500 then you will reduce advance paid, advance insurance 250. After adjusting this amount, you will write 1250 in the profit and loss account. Now, because since you have paid the insurance premium on advance basis, therefore you will write this amount in the balance sheet as well on the asset side. So because anything paid on advance basis becomes your asset, therefore we will write down advance insurance paid, advance insurance premium 250 rupees on the asset side as well. Now it is clear, Elima? So basically we will be
Yes,
taking
sir.
the effect of advance premium at two places, first in the profit and loss account and then in the balance sheet. So I hope it is clear now. Anyone else having problem with this? Alexander and Hamad, is this clear to both of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now moving on to next item. After that we have commission that is given on the credit column of the trial balance. So that simply means this is our income, and I don't think there is any adjustment entry regarding commission is given. So that means we can take the entire amount in the profit and loss account on the credit side. So anything given on the credit side is our liability as far as the income and expenses are concerned. So commission is an income, therefore we will write it in the profit and loss account. After that we have plant and machinery, right? Plant and machinery. So do we have any adjustment entry regarding plant and machinery, guys? Do
Yes,
we
sir.
have? Yeah, please tell me what is the adjustment entry regarding plant and machinery?
Depreciation.
Depreciation, correct. So we need to depreciate plant and machinery by how much percent?
10%.
10%, correct. So it is simple, na? We will reduce 10% from the plant and machinery, write down the remaining value in the balance sheet on the asset side, and we will write down the value of the depreciation in the profit and loss account on the debit side. Tell me if it is clear or not. Halima, Steve, Alexander,
Clear.
is this clear? All of you?
Clear.
Clear. After that we have furniture and fixtures. So make sure there is no adjustment entry regarding this also. Only then we will write it in the balance sheet. So can you tell me whether there is any adjustment entry regarding this, yes or no?
Yes, sir. It has 15% of depreciation.
15% depreciation is given, right? So 15% on furniture and fixtures. So please reduce 15% of 20,000. So 15% of 20,000 will be 3,000. So we will reduce 15,000, sorry, 3,000 from the value of the furniture and fixture, write down the remaining value in the balance sheet, and we will be writing the value of the depreciation in the profit and loss account by the name of depreciation on furniture and fixtures, 3,000 on the debit side. Okay, then we have bills receivable. I don't think there is any adjustment entry regarding bills receivable, and I hope all of you already know that bills receivable is our asset, therefore we will record it in the asset side in the balance sheet. So please write down bills receivable in the balance sheet on the asset side, 20,000. After that we have sundry debtors. Sundry debtors. Sundry debtors. So I can see that there is an adjustment entry given regarding debtors. So it is item number 2, adjustment number 2. It says that calculate provision for doubtful debts at 2% on sundry debtors. So basically we need to provide for provision. We need to charge 2% for provision of bad debt. So we will have to reduce 2% from the value of the debtors. Sundry debtors will be reduced by 2000. So sundry debtors is given as 40,000, right? So we will reduce 2%. After reducing 2%, whatever the remaining amount you will get, you will write it in the balance sheet. And same amount, the provision that you have made, the reduction that you made, will be taken into the profit and loss account on the debit side as well. 2% is how much? Of 40,000, it will be 800, right? On 40,000, 2% is 800. So 800 will be reduced from the value of the sundry debtor. So the remaining amount will be 39,200. And 800 will be recorded in the profit and loss account on the debit side. Done, everyone? Hamad
Yes,
and
sir.
Alexander, you got, all of you got this point now?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Now, we have the next item as sundry creditors, and there is no adjustment regarding sundry creditors. So we can write down the entire amount in the profit and in the balance sheet on the liability side. Write it in the balance sheet, sundry creditors. Then we have cash at bank. There is no adjustment regarding cash at bank as well. So 16,000 on the asset side in the balance sheet, because cash at bank is our asset. Then we have office equipment. Office equipment. So I think there is an adjustment regarding depreciation for office equipment. And I can see depreciation, we need to charge for depreciation at the rate 20%. So please calculate 20% of 12,000. And after reducing the depreciation, write the entire amount in the balance sheet, and the value of the depreciation should be indicated in the profit and loss account. 12,000, 20% on 12,000, it will be 2,400. So we will reduce 2,400 from 12,000. Balance amount will be recorded in the balance sheet on the asset side, and the depreciation that we have charged, it should be indicated in the profit and loss account on the debit side. Done, Halima, Hamad, Alexander?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Done.
Then we have bills payable of rupees 12,350. Bills payable 12,350. So bills payable is our liability, right? So we will carry the entire amount in the balance sheet. Then we have expense payable. Expense payable. What is expense payable? Expense payable is our liability. Expense payable is like expense outstanding. Expense payable will be considered as expense outstanding. So we will record it in the balance sheet on the liability side. Right, everyone? Done?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So all of you, please calculate gross profit in the trading account. And there is one more adjustment entry which is left to be adjusted. Adjustment entry 6, you can see. It says that we need to charge 10% of the final profit, and we need to prepare the, we need to basically transfer it to the general reserve. All right. So what we will do, we will first calculate the gross profit, then we will calculate the net profit, and after calculating net profit, we will calculate 10% of this amount, then we will transfer it to the general reserve. That I'll be telling you how we will be doing that. But first of all of you guys, please calculate gross profit. Let me know the answer, then I'll be helping you to calculate net profit, and I'll tell you how do we deal with the item number adjustment number 6. So all of you first calculate gross profit. Calculate gross profit. Done, everyone. Anybody can tell me the gross profit? Halima, what is the gross profit you have got?
Sir, gross profit is 1,69,500.
No. Alexander?
Sir, 1,29,500.
Yes, 1,29,500. Alexander, you are getting the same answer? Alexander, sorry, I'm sorry. Hamad, what is your
No,
answer?
sir, I got a little different.
You're getting different answer. Why you guys are getting
No, sir,
different
my
answers?
multiplication went wrong. I mean, the addition went wrong.
Okay. All right. So just tell me the items that you are getting on the credit side. Let me tell you. We have on the credit side, we have the sales 3,85,000, and after that we will reduce 1,500 out of sales. So 3,83,500 on the credit side. We won't be recording any other value on the credit side in the trading account. We won't be recording the closing stock in the trading account because purchase, adjusted purchase is already given. So this is it. This will be the only item that will be recorded on the credit side of the trading account, 3,83,500. And on the debit side, you must have recorded the value of the purchases. After adjusting return, it will be 2,07,500. Then there should be carriage inward 1,200. There should be wages of 45,300. This is it. So after reducing all these value from 3,83,500, you should get 1,29,500. This should be your trading account.
I had that closing stock error. That
You had the trading.
40,000.
Okay. So I already told you now, whenever adjusted purchases are given in the question, you are not required to record the closing stock in the trading account. But the closing stock must be reflected in the balance sheet. It should not be recorded in the trading account, since adjusted purchases are already given in the question. So this is how the trading account will look like. Done? Now tell me, now calculate the net profit. But just calculate net profit. Don't record the net profit in the profit and loss account. Don't write down the value of the net profit in the profit and loss account, because we need to adjust the net profit for general reserves. We need to make adjustment number 6. This is regarding the profit. So just calculate the total profit.
Sir, net
Yes.
profit will be 40,150.
No, it is not 40,000.
Okay.
Anyone else got the answer? Alexander?
Sir, 42,100.
42,000. Okay. Hamad?
Yes, sir.
42. Okay. Just tally your answer. I'm telling you the credit and debit side values of the profit and loss account. Just tally your answer with that. Let me know if there is any mistake. So on the credit side, we will have only 3 items. The gross profit 1,29,500, then commission of 1,500, then discount of rupees 1,200. Tell me, is this correct? On the credit side, the total amount will be 1,32,200. Is that what you have got? 1,32,200.
Yes, sir. That amount.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now look at the debit side. On the debit side, we have carriage outward of 2,000, right? Then salaries, total amount of salary should be 65500. Tell me if you guys are not getting these values, na? Salary 65500.
Yes, sir.
Then insurance should be 1250. Discount 750. Office expenses should be there 15,400. Outstanding interest on loan should be there 2250. Right? Then bad debt should be 1200. Provision for doubtful debt, it should be 800. Then we have the value of depreciation. Depreciation for furniture will be 3,000. For land and building, it should be 3,000. For office equipment, it should be 2,400. For plant and machinery, it should be 5,000. So total amount of depreciation will be 13,400. Tell me, all of you guys are getting these values?
Yes, sir.
All these values are correct? Yeah,
Sir,
Alexander. Any discrepancy, any differences?
no, I wrote half my profit and loss account on another paper. That's why I didn't add
Okay,
it.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So guys, let me reduce all these debit side expenses. So from 1,03,000 to 200, we will reduce 2,000 for carriage outward. Then we will reduce 65500 for salaries, 65500 for salaries. Then 1250 for insurance. Then 750 for discount. Then 15400 for office expense. Then outstanding interest we have is 2000. Basically outstanding interest is 2250, sorry, 2250. Then bad debt is 1200. Then provision 800. Then all the depreciation collectively will be 13400. So ideally your profit should be 29650. This should be the gross profit, sorry, the net profit. This will be the net profit, 29650. All right, everyone. So but just keep this in mind. We have got a net profit of how much? We have got a net profit of 29650, right? Halima, Alexander, Hamad, you guys are getting this value, 29650. Now make sure that you do not write this value in the profit and loss account. Then sir, what we will do, we will make a general reserve out of this profit. We will make a general reserve as the adjustment entry given in the question, item number 6. It says we need to prepare general reserve of the total profit at the rate 10%. So 10% of this particular amount, 29650, will be 2965. So this amount will be recorded here. General reserve should be recorded in the profit and loss account. General reserve, we will record it in the profit and loss account, 29665. And after writing it here, we will again write down the general reserve in the balance sheet as well. We will indicate it in the balance sheet as well. General reserve in the balance sheet as well. You're getting my point? General reserve will be written here also. Okay. Then after writing the general reserve, we will reduce the amount of general reserve from the amount of profit. So from 29650, we will reduce 2965. And whatever the amount that we will get, this will be the finally the net profit that we will be writing it in the profit and loss account. Net profit. This will be the profit that we will be writing here. Net profit 26685. Everybody tell me, all of you are clear about this, or you want me to explain it again? Tell me, Alexander, Hamad.
Here.
Alexander, it is clear for you?
Yes, sir, clear.
Yeah, Hamad, any doubts?
No, sir, no doubt.
No doubt. Okay, so do it. Please write it in the, please adjust it in the profit and loss account as well as in the balance sheet. So along with the other expenses, we will indicate general reserve in the profit and loss account. Along with the other expenses on the debit side, we will indicate general reserve as well. And after reducing general reserve, the net profit that will be available, that should be written in the profit and loss account. And same amount should be, same net profit should be carried forward to the balance sheet. 26685 should be carried forward to the balance sheet. And we will also write down the value of the general reserve in the balance sheet, 2965. Tell me if you guys are having any problem understanding this. I can explain it again if you guys are having problem with this.
No problem, sir.
No problem. Okay. So this is how your profit and loss account now should look like. So I was talking about this, that basically net profit should be reflected in the profit and loss account after writing the value of the reserve. So we have calculated this reserve from the amount of profit itself. So we have calculated profit 29650. We have charged general reserve 10% in the and showed it in the profit and loss account, and then we have carried it further in the balance sheet as well. So here how your balance sheet should be reflected. So here we will indicate general reserve 2965 on the liability side, 2965 on the liability side, and also net profit will be added to the value of the capital. And which net profit will be added here? Same, the remaining net profit after adjusting the reserves, 2626685, not the original one, not the total, the actual net profit that we have got prior to general reserve. So this is how your balance sheet should look like. Tell me guys, any doubt with this question anywhere? Alexander, Hamad and Steve. Alexander, Hamad and Steve, any doubt? Halima, any doubt?
No, sir, no doubt.
No doubt. Okay, so guys, this is how I'm pretty sure that you will be able to tally the balance sheet as well. So kindly take the screenshot of this so that you can tally your balance sheet later at home. So I'm showing you the next question. Please take the screenshot of that question as well, because that will be your homework. So yeah, so this is going to be this I'm giving you as homework. Please take the screenshot of it. Okay, and let me check if the answers are also available or not. Just a minute. Okay, so I'm telling you few important figures. Please write down the gross profit in this question. You will get, it should be 60,800. The gross profit will be 60,800 in this question. Done, everyone? Gross profit for this question will be 60,800, 60800. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And the net profit that you will get, it should be, so in this particular question, you will be having a net loss of 42750. You will have net loss of 42750. Net loss should be 42750. And let me tell you the balance sheet figure as well. So balance sheet, both the sides of the balance sheet, the liability and the asset side total should be 9,36,100. So asset side 9,36,100 and liability side should also have the same figure, 9,36100. So these are the important values that I have told you. Please make sure that you, while calculating answer, make sure your answer tally with the amount, with the gross profit that I have told you, and the net profit and the balance sheet figures. So I hope everything that we have discussed in today's session is clear. So this is it. I'll be preparing the assignment question for you, and from the next class onward, we will probably either we will discuss the theoretical points of this particular chapter, or we will start a new chapter, and we will discuss the theory part of this chapter along with the next chapter only. Okay, so I hope everything that we discussed in today's sessions is clear to all of you. So this is it for the account section. We will be taking a break of 5 minutes, then we will continue with our economics part. Thank you so much everyone for attending class.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.
So Alexander and Steve, we will take 5-minute break, then we will continue with the chapter dispersion.
Okay.
All right, everyone. Alexander and Steve. So, in the last session of the statistics, we have started this chapter, measures of dispersion, wherein we have discussed the meaning of the dispersion, and after that, I've covered the types of dispersion. Then we have discussed various methods by which dispersion can be calculated. So before proceeding further, as usual, we will revise first of all everything that we did in the last session. So we have understood the meaning of the dispersion, wherein I have explained that the dispersion refers to the variation of the items among themselves in a particular series. Greater the variation in any series, higher is considered to be the dispersion in the series. Lower the fluctuation or the variation, lower will be the value of dispersion. Then I've told you that we have two types of dispersion, absolute and the relative. In the absolute measure of dispersion, what do? We basically calculate the dispersion in the same unit in which the data or the series is given to us. And in the relative measure of dispersion, we calculate the dispersion in terms of ratio or percentage. This is the basic difference between the absolute and the relative dispersion. Then we have understood various methods by which dispersion can be calculated. So we have methods like range. Then we have quartile deviation, the mean deviation, standard deviation, coefficient of variation, and the Lorentz curve. So all these are the values by which dispersion can be calculated. After that, we have understood how do we actually calculate range. I have also taught you the meaning of the range. Range is just a difference between the largest item and the smallest item of a particular series, and it is calculated as L minus S. And in order to calculate coefficient of range, we apply this formula L minus S upon L plus S. And after that, I think we did these questions. So I hope everything that we did in the last session is clear to you. Alexander, do you have any doubt? You want to ask anything related to the last session?
No doubts.
No doubts.
No.
So, okay. So in today's session, we will talk about quartile deviation. So before starting this, I just wanted to know whether you have any idea. You have already covered quartiles or not in the first term. So do you already know what is quartile?
No, sir.
You don't know quartile. Okay. So in order to calculate quartile deviation, we must have some knowledge regarding the quartiles. So before, okay, let's do one thing. Let's just start quartile deviation, and I'll explain quartile as we proceed further. So just a minute. Okay. So quartile deviation. Quartile deviation is, again, it is one of the methods by which absolute dispersion is calculated. So it is a method to calculate absolute dispersion. Quartile deviation. Quartile deviation. So formula to calculate quartile deviation is QD equals to Q3 minus Q1 divided by 2. This is the formula to calculate quartile deviation. So formula remains same irrespective of whether you solve individual series, discrete series, or continuous series. Formula remains same in all cases. But the thing is that in order to calculate quartile deviation, you must know how to calculate quartile, right? So basically, Alexander, we have three types of quartiles. We have three quartiles. Quartiles are what? Quartiles are values that divide the series into 4 equal parts. Quartiles are values that divide the series into 4 equal parts. So let's suppose this is a series. Let's suppose this line is a series, for example, and I want to divide this line into 4 equal parts. So how can I do that? So it is very simple. First of all, you make a cut at this point. I'll make a cut at this point. Then I'll make a cut at this point. And then I will make a cut at this point. So if I make 3 cuts on this line or on this particular series, this series will be divided into 4 parts, right? This will be one part. This will be the one part. This will be the second part. And this will be the third part. And finally, the fourth part. So we will have 4 parts of this line or series when we cut this line into 3 parts. So all these points that is cutting the series into 3 parts, 4 equal parts, is known as the quartiles. So what are quartiles? There are 3 types of quartile, Alexander. We have Q1, then this is called Q2, and this is called Q3. Now, if I talk about what is Q1, so first of all, taking all together, Q1, Q2, Q3, you will see that all these quartiles divide the series into 4 equal parts. Each part will have 25% of the series. So this will be the 25% portion of this series. This will be 25% portion. This is 25% of the series. And this remaining part is also 25%, right? So if I ask you what are quartile, you can say, sir, quartiles are values that divide the series into how many parts? Into 4 equal parts, 4 equal parts. And if I ask you how many quartiles are there, you can see, you can say that there are 3 quartiles. So there are only 3 quartiles that can divide the series into 4 equal parts. So we have Q1, Q2, and Q3. There are 3 quartiles, right? So Q1 is called the lower quartile or the first quartile. Q2 is called the second quartile. Sometimes it is also called median. Then we have Q3, it is called third quartile or the upper quartile. Getting my point? So in order to calculate quartile deviation, what do we actually require? We require Q1, the lower quartile, and the value of the Q3. Unless and until you have the Q3 or Q1, you won't be able to calculate quartile deviation. Getting my point? Unless and until you have Q1 or Q3, you won't be able to calculate quartile deviation. So generally, whenever a question is given, you have a particular question regarding a particular series. Let's suppose you have an individual series given in the question, or a discrete series or a continuous series in the question. So they will provide you with the question regarding, let's suppose you are provided with a discrete series question. So they will simply ask you to calculate the quartile deviation of that particular series. Now the question is that we know the formula, we know how to calculate quartile deviation, Q3 minus Q1 divided by 2. But the problem is that how do we calculate quartile 3, quartile 1 in that particular question? So that is the task here. So I hope it is clear that quartile are what? Quartiles are 3 values collectively called quartile. There are 3 values which are collectively called quartiles. What quartile do? Quartile basically divides the series into how many parts? Into 4 equal parts. 4 equal parts. So right now we won't be discussing anything more about quartile. Otherwise, it will be a time-taking or a lengthy process, and it will basically confuse you. And I don't want to make you confused or distract from the topic. So I think that will be enough regarding quartile. We won't discuss anything more about quartile. The concept of, we won't be discussing more about concept of quartile. But I will tell you how to calculate quartile. We won't be talking more about the concept of quartile. Rather, we will talk about how do we calculate Q1 or Q3. So this is the basic formula to calculate quartile deviation. And if just in case question asks you to calculate coefficient of quartile deviation, the question asks you for coefficient of quartile deviation, then what will you do? You will simply apply this formula, coefficient of quartile deviation coefficient of quartile deviation equals to, the formula in that case will be Q3 minus Q1 divided by Q3 plus Q1, same as the range, right? You can see it seems pretty similar to the range formula, L minus S upon L plus S. So this is how quartile deviation and coefficient of quartile deviation will be calculated. But the question remains same. How do we calculate Q1 or Q3? Because unless and until we are able to calculate Q1, Q3, we won't be able to calculate the quartile deviation. So let me also tell you how do we calculate the Q1 or Q3. So for that, just write down, I'm telling you a few formula. This formula will be applicable for calculating quartile Q3, Q1 in case of individual and discrete series. So I'll be writing calculating formula for calculating lower quartile and upper quartile Q3. Okay. So I'll be telling you the formula to calculate lower and upper quartile. So first of all, we will discuss the formula regarding the discrete series only. Individual and discrete series both, sorry. In case of individual series. And also in case of, same formula will be applicable in case of discrete series as well. But for the continuous series, there is a change in the formula. So we will talk about this continuous series in the later session of this chapter. So just right now, just focus on the discrete and the individual series. So in case of individual series, for calculating, first of all, for calculating lower quartile, either you want to calculate lower quartile in case of individual series or discrete series, that is Q1, you will apply this formula. The formula will be n plus 1 divided by 2 term. And if you want to calculate the upper quartile, you will write n plus 1 divided by 2 term, because you are calculating, sorry, just a minute, let me correct this. This won't be 2, it will be 4 in fact, because quartile divides the series into 4 equal parts. So therefore we will be, in the denominator, we will be writing 4 instead of 2. So it will be 4. Okay, so in the first quartile, the formula will be n plus 1 by 4. In the second quartile, this part remains same, only we will multiply it with 3. Because we need to calculate third quartile, so we will multiply it with 3. And if you want to calculate quartile 1, you can multiply it with the 1. So you can also write 1 into n plus 1 by 4. But because either you multiply it by 1 or not, you will be getting the same answer. Therefore, there is no need to write down 1 into n plus 1 by 4. You can write down n plus 1 by 4 only. And when you want to calculate upper quartile, in that case, you will have to write 3 into n plus 1 by 4th term. Is that clear, Alexander?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But when we talk about the calculation of quartile in case of continuous series, we have a little different formula. In case of the continuous series, in case of continuous series. In case of continuous series, we have different formula for the lower quartile as well as for the upper quartile. So in case of lower quartile, if you want to calculate lower quartile in case of continuous series, we have to apply this formula for calculating Q1. Basically, in this case, we calculate L1 in two stages, two steps. First of all, the first step is to calculate, first step will be to calculate quartile size. First, we will calculate quartile size. Quartile size. So we have to, in order to calculate quartile size, we will be applying this formula, n upon fourth term. Note this time we do not have n plus 1 by 4. This time we only have n by fourth term. If we want to calculate quartile 1 in case of continuous series, first of all, the first step is to calculate quartile size. Then we will apply the second step, step 2. This will be for calculating the quartile value, Q1 value. So for calculating Q1 value, we will be applying this formula, L1 plus n upon 4 minus CF upon F into I. This is the formula for calculating quartile 1 value. So in case of continuous series, it gets a little difficult to calculate quartile 1 because in this case we have to apply two steps. First of all, we will calculate quartile size and we will apply the formula for calculating quartile. So it is a two-step process in case of continuous series to calculate quartile. And similarly, if we want to calculate Q1 and Q3 in case of the continuous series, then again we will have to apply two stages, upper quartile, for upper quartile as well. That means for the third quartile, we have to follow two stages, two steps. So step 1 in this case will also remain same. We will be calculating first of all quartile size, and for that you will apply n by fourth term, right? But because you are calculating the quartile size for the third quartile, therefore instead of writing n by 4, you will write 3n by 4, 3n by fourth term, right? Alexander, you are getting this? For calculating Q3, we have to, in case of continuous series, the first step that we will apply, the first step that we will be applying is to calculate quartile size. So for calculating quartile size, instead of n by 4, we will be writing 3n by 4. Tell me, is this clear now?
Yes, sir.
And when we will be when we are required to calculate Q3 in case of continuous series, the second step will be to calculate quartile 3 value. So for calculating quartile 3 value, we will be applying this formula, L1 plus 3n by 4 minus CF upon F into I. This is the second step in calculation of the upper quartile in case of continuous series. So this might seems difficult, maybe because you are you're still writing the formula. We haven't done any question based on the upper and the lower quartile till now. But when we will be doing questions based on these, you will find that it is not as difficult. Formula seems to be difficult and it seems to be a lengthy process, but it is quite easy and you will be easily be able to calculate the quartile 1, quartile 3. Okay, so I hope you must have written it down. So right now we have discussed the quartile. Quartile is what? Quartile is the half of the difference of Q3 and Q1, and coefficient of quartile deviation is Q3 minus Q1 divided by Q3 plus Q1. This is what the formula of the quartile deviation is. Now, because we cannot solve quartile deviation before unless and until we know the calculation, how do we calculate Q3 and Q1. So therefore I have told you the formula for calculating Q1 and Q3. These are the formulas, and then these formula will remain same in case of individual and discrete series, but the formula for Q1 and Q3 in case of continuous series will be different. Okay, so now let's do one question quickly.
Wait, excuse me, sir.
Yeah, please.
Can you show me that the last step 2's formula? I didn't write it.
Write it down.
Okay, done.
Okay, so let's do one question, and easy one. So first we will start with the individual series question. So we will be talking about individual series. Individual series. Okay, so in case of individual series, it is given that question says find quartile deviation. Please note it down. And coefficient of quartile deviation. Question is given to you. Question is, we have only items because in case of individual series we do not have frequencies. So items are 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110. Okay, so these are the items, and question is asking you to calculate quartile deviation. So I always tell students, so whenever question asks you to calculate something, first of all write down the formula for that particular thing. So in this question we need to calculate quartile deviation, right, and coefficient of quartile deviation. So what do? We will first write down the formula for quartile deviation. So formula for quartile deviation, as I have already told you, that formula will be it will be Q3 minus Q1 divided by 2, right? And similarly, for calculating coefficient of quartile deviation, let's also write down the formula for that as well. Coefficient of quartile deviation and the formula for calculating coefficient of quartile deviation is Q3 minus Q1 divided by Q3 plus Q1, right? But as I told you, unless and until we know the value of the Q1 and Q3, we won't be able to calculate quartile deviation. And since you can see, I'm sure that you can see that it is an individual series, and and you won't be able to see that there is Q1 and Q3 given in the question, right? So obviously we need to calculate Q1 and Q3. So because it, it is an individual series, so what do? We will first make a working note. Working note basically means the extra work that we need to do for calculating the main question. So my main question is to calculate quartile, right? But we won't be able to calculate quartile deviation unless and until we find out the value of the quartiles. So for that purpose, we will be calculating we will be preparing a working note. So in the working note, first of all, we will write down the items. Yeah, let's just do one thing. Let's just first calculate quartile deviation, quartile Q1. The formula for Q1 will be n plus 1 by 4, right? N plus 1 by 4th term. Sorry. So n plus 1 by 4th term. This is the formula for Q1. And for calculating Q3, the formula is slightly different, and 3n plus 1 by 4. This is the formula. So both formula is pretty similar, but only difference is that we have 3 here and we have only 1 here. Okay. Now the formula is n plus 1 by 4. So here n basically means the total number of items in the question, right? So can you tell me, Alexander, how many items are there in the question? How many items are here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 11 items, right?
Yeah.
Total number of items are there. Total numbers. How many numbers are there?
11.
11 numbers, right? So in place of n, we will write 11. 11 represents the total number of items we have. So 11 plus 1 basically means n basically means the total number of item, n plus 1 by 4. When you will calculate it, you will get 3. 11 plus 1 by 4 basically means 3. That means third term is the quartile 1. Third term is the lower quartile in this case. So can you tell me what is the third term in this particular series? Which is the third item?
30.
30 is the third item, correct. So this will be a Q1. So here we can write Q1 will be 30. This will be a Q1. Then let's calculate Q3 as well. So for Q3, we will apply the same formula, 3 n plus 1 by 4. So as we know, by calculating n plus 1 by 4, you are going to get, ultimately you are going to get third term, right? So in place of n plus 1, can I write 3, and can I also multiply it with the 3? So I will get the 9th term here. Is that right, Alexander? Can I do that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now can you tell me which is the 9th item in this series? 9th item will be 90, right? Starting with the first item is 1. The first item is 10. So 9th item will be 90, right? Any doubts? So this is
No, sir.
Okay. So now what we will do, we found out that Q1 is the 30 and Q3 is 90. So we will simply put these value into the formula, and we will calculate the quartile deviation. So 90 is the upper quartile, lower quartile is 30. 90 minus 30 divided by 2, we will get 30. This is our quartile deviation. Tell me, is this clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, if I talk about how do we calculate coefficient of quartile deviation, I think you can do it easily. So Q3 minus Q1 basically means 90 minus 30 and 90 plus 30. So sorry. 90 plus 30. So we will get 60 upon 120 equals to 0.5. This is our answer. Tell me, Alexander. Any doubt?
No, sir.
No doubts. Great. So you are still writing it or you're done?
Still writing.
Still writing. So you want me to show any specific thing on screen?
Sir, I didn't understand what.
You want me to show anything on screen? You are doing it yourself, or you are recording? You are writing it on from the screen.
I'm writing it in my notebook.
You're writing on your notebook. That is okay. But you want me to show anything on screen?
No,
Any
sir.
specific point? Okay. Okay.
No.
Okay. Let's now also do one question on the discrete series. So in case of discrete series, how do we calculate quartile deviation? So question says again, find quartile deviation and its coefficient. And this time the items are X means item 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, 100, 120.
Excuse me, sir. Did you explain this?
Sorry?
Did you explain discrete series?
No, I didn't explain this yet.
Okay.
I'll be showing you how it looks like.
Okay.
So in case of discrete series, Alexander, we have two variables, two columns. One is for the number of items we have, and then we will also have a column for the frequency. Frequency basically indicate how many times a number is repeating. So if frequency is given, let's say frequency is 5, that means 20 is repeating 5 number of times in a series. So instead of writing 20, 20, 20 for 5 times like this, so what we do, we basically write 20, and in front of 20 we write down its frequency. So this is the item and this is its frequency. Getting my point? So if data is represented in this format, 20 is written as the number of time as it is getting repeated in a series. If it is written 5 times continuously, then it is called the individual series. So we write down, in case of individual series, we write down the items, the number of time it is getting repeated. But in case of discrete series, what do? We basically do a little shortcut. We basically write down the item only once, 20, and if it is repeating for 5 times, we directly write down its frequency in front of it. So it indicates that 20 is repeating for 5 times. So if I write the series in this format, this will be called discrete series. Basically, if series contains only items, there is no frequencies, then it is an individual series. And if items and frequency both are given, then it will be called discrete series. Is it clear?
Sir, so you're saying when there is frequency, it is discrete, and when it
You
isn't
can
there?
say that if there is frequency in the question, you can say it is a discrete series. Not always, but see, frequency is also given in case of continuous series. What I'm saying, if items are given in the question along with its frequency, in that case it will be called discrete series. Like if items are given like 10, 20, 30, 40. These are items, right? And along with these item, it is indicated how many times this particular item is repeating. So let's say 10 is being repeated 5 times. So I will write 5 in front of 10. Instead of writing 10 for the 5 times, I can simply write 5 in front of 10. This will basically indicate that 10 is repeating 5 times in a series. And if 20 is repeating for, let's say, 10 times, I don't want to write 20 10 times. I can simply write 20 here, and in front of 20 I can write its frequency. If let's suppose if 30 is repeating for 25 times, so if you talk about individual series, you will have to write down 30 25 times. That will be so hectic. So in order to simplify the basically in order to minimize the effort, what do? We basically write 30 once, and the number of times it is repeating, we will write it as its frequency in front of it. And 40, if let's suppose 40 is repeating for 15 times, so we do not have to write 40 for 15 number of times as we do in case of individual series. Instead, we will write 40, and in front of it we will write down its frequency, number one. So this is the discrete series. Now you will also find frequency in case of continuous series. So then how we can differentiate which series is a discrete series or which is a continuous series? If in both these situations we have the frequency, then how can we differentiate? So see, in case of continuous series, you will have the frequency. Similarly, like in case of discrete series, let's suppose in case of continuous series you have the frequency 6, 3, 9, 11, like this. But in this case, in case of continuous series, we have the data given in this format, in the format of class intervals. So you will have the items in this format: 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, and 40 to 50, right? So this, if items along with its frequency is given, it will be called discrete. If class along with the frequency is given, it will be called continuous series. And if only items are given, no frequencies are there, it will be called individual series. I hope it is clear now, Alexander.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So frequency we have is 5, 3, 7, 2, 5, 4, 3, 6. This is the frequency in this series. This is called discrete series, items along with the frequency. Okay. Now we need to calculate quartile deviation. So as I told you, whenever you need to calculate something, you should write down the formula. But before writing formula, you can do one more thing. You just write down the series first, then write down the formula. So first of all, we will be writing the series. So let's note down the series one more time. So we will be writing, to solve this particular series, we will write down items in the vertical format: 20, 40, 60, 80, 90, and we have 100, 120, and 150. 120 and 150. Okay. After that, we have frequency. So frequencies are 5, 3, 7, 2, 4, 3, 1 frequency is less to 5, 3, 7, 5, 3, 7, 2, 5436. 5, 4, 3, and 6. All right. So this is the question we have, and we need to calculate quartile deviation. And as I told you, always write down the formula first. So for calculating quartile deviation, we have this formula. Quartile deviation equals to Q3 minus Q1 divided by 2. As I told you, the formula will remain same in case of all the series, whether you calculate continuous, discrete, or individual series. The formula for calculating quartile deviation will going to be same. Coefficient of quartile deviation. So for calculating coefficient, you have to apply this formula, Q3 minus Q1 divided by Q3 plus Q1. Right? Okay. Now, first of all, we have to calculate Q1 and Q3. Then we will apply it in the formula and calculate the value. So let's prepare a working note. So here I'll be preparing the working note. Working note for why we are preparing the working note. We are preparing working note for calculating quartile 1. So for quartile 1, we will apply this formula, n plus 1 by 4th term. As I told you, in order to calculate Q1, the formula will remain same for individual and the discrete series. So we have the same formula as we applied in the individual series. In case of discrete series as well, we will have the same formula. So Q3, we will have 3n plus 1 by 4th term. Right? Any doubts, Alexander, till this point?
No, sir, but yeah, no doubts.
No doubt. So until this point, we haven't did anything. We just write down the question, the item and frequency, and just wrote down the formulas. So now the next step is to calculate Q1 and Q3. So for that purpose, you can see that for calculating Q1, you need the n. And what did I told you about n? N is what? N is the total number of item, right? N is total number of items are there in the question. This is n, right? So whenever you solve the discrete series, you will always calculate cumulative frequency of the series. Always remember this. Whenever you want to calculate Q1 or Q3, you will have to calculate cumulative frequency. So for calculating cumulative frequency, what do? We basically keep on adding the frequencies. So cumulative frequency will be, because here it is 5, so we will write down 5. Then the next frequency is 3, so we will add 5 and 3, we will write down 8. So next frequency is 7, so we will write down 7 plus 8, it will be 15. Then 15 plus 2, it will be 17. Then 17 plus 5, it will be 22. Then 22 plus 4, 26. Then 26 plus 3, it will be 29. And 29 plus 6, it will be 35. Tell me, Alexander, is the calculation of cumulative frequency is clear to you?
Yes, but that means we have to find the CF when it's discrete series only.
Yeah, we need to find cumulative frequency in case of discrete as well as in case of continuous series. So
Okay.
you can say that whenever we have the frequency given in the question and we need to calculate Q1, Q3, we will have to calculate cumulative. Only then we can proceed further. Is that clear?
Okay. Yes, sir.
So now just keep this in mind. that the last item of the cumulative frequency indicate total number of items in the question, total number of item in the series. So this 35 indicate we have 35 total items. How many items are there? 35 items. 35 indicate the n. This is the n. So we can cross check it as well. See, 20 is how many times there in the series? 20 is for 5 times. So 5. And 40 is how many times? 3 times. So 5 plus 3, it will be 8. 8 items are there. Then 60 is how many times? 7 times. So you can add 7, then 2, then 5, then 4, then 3, then 6. So when you will add all these items, you will definitely get 35. So therefore we say the last item of the cumulative frequency always indicate the total number of items in a series. Getting my point? Alexander, is this clear to
Yes.
you? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So now as we know the n are 35, so we can simply apply this into the formula. And for in place of n, we can write down 35 plus 1 divided by 4. Okay, so you can calculate 35 plus 1, it will be 36, by 4 it will be 9th term. So quartile 1 says 9th term will be our quartile 1. So now let's find out the 9th term. Can you tell me which is the 9th term in the question? 9. So first of all, see, how do we find 9th term? Try to focus here. So 9, we will first go to the cumulative frequency column and try to find the 9. So tell me, 9 will fall in 5 or after 5? 9 will be, you will find 9 in 5 or after 5?
After 5.
After 5, correct. And 9 will fall after 8 or within 8?
After 8.
After 8. So after 8, we can see there is no 9. Instead, it is directly 15 given here, right? So that means 9 will be somewhere within 15 itself. Getting my point? Because 5, till this point, we have got 5 items. And till this point, we have got 8 items. So from 8 to 15, all the items are in the 15. So what do? We basically presume that 9 is somewhere in this item, in the 15th cumulative frequency. 9 will fall in the 15th cumulative frequency. So the item that is exactly in front of this value, the 15 cumulative frequency, will be our Q1. This will be our Q1. Let me explain it again. Just a minute. So by applying the formula of Q1, we have got 9th term as our Q1, right? So now when we need to find out 9, we will first go to the cumulative frequency column and start finding 9. So you can say that 9 will definitely fall after 9. Sorry, 9 will definitely fall after 5, correct? And 9 will also fall after 8. And since after 8 there is no 9, so it means 9 will be somewhere within this cumulative frequency. So item that is exactly in front of this cumulative frequency will be our Q1. This will be our Q1. Is this clear now?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Now similarly, we will calculate, just a minute. So Q1 is 60. Q1 is 60. Similarly, we will calculate Q3. So for calculating Q3, we will apply 3n plus 1 by 4. So as we know, by calculating n plus 1 by 4, we are going to get 9th term, right? So we will multiply 9 into 3, we will get 27th term. So 27th term in the series will be our will be our Q3. So let's find out the 27th term. And this time you will tell me which do you think is the 27th term. Tell me, which is the 27th term? 27. So first of all, what do we do, Alexander? 27. We will try to find out 27 terms. So tell me, 27 will fall after 5 or before 5?
After 5.
It will also fall after 8. It will also fall after 15, after 27, after 22, after 26, right? But after
Yep.
26, you can see that there is no 27. Instead, directly it is 29. So we will presume that 27 will definitely be in this cumulative frequency, right? 27 will be somewhere in the 29th cumulative frequency. So what do? We basically take the item that is exactly in front of 29th cumulative frequency. So this will be our Q3. So Q3 will be 120. Tell me, Alexander, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so we have got Q3 as 120 and Q1 as 60. We can simply write, now place this in the formula. We will get 60 by 120. So our answer is 0.5. Sorry. What I've done. 60, 120 minus 60, na? 120 minus 60 divided by 2. So it will be 120 minus 60, we will get 60. 60 divided by 2, we will get 30. And here we can write 120 minus 60 and 120 plus 60. Now apply formula, calculate this equation. 120 minus 60, 60, and divided by 180, and you will get 60 divided by 180. So your answer should be 0.33. Tell me, any doubts?
No, sir.
No. So this is how we solve quartile deviation in case of individual and discrete series. So Alexander, we will discuss more about quartile deviation. We will discuss how do we calculate quartile deviation in case of continuous series as well. But we will be discussing that part in the next session. So I'll be giving, let me give you a few questions for your homework. Just a minute. Yeah. So what is quartile deviation? Quartile deviation can be defined as, quartile deviation is half of the interquartile range. So what is interquartile range? Difference of Q3 and Q1 is called interquartile range. Just like range, largest minus smallest value is range. Similarly, largest quartile minus the smallest quartile is called the interquartile range. So half of the interquartile range is called quartile deviation. And what is coefficient quartile deviation? Q3 minus Q1 divided by Q3 plus Q1 will be our coefficient of quartile deviation. Okay. Now, see, this is the question that you need to do in your homework. Avoid, just ignore question third. We will be talking about this question. The question third is based on the continuous series. We will talk about continuous series in the next session. So for today's class, your homework will be question number 1 and 2. The question 1 is based on the individual series and question 2 is on discrete series. So I hope you can do these questions. Just ignore question third for now. We will first understand the continuous series. How do we calculate quartile deviation in case of continuous series in the next class, next session? Then only you will be able to solve this question. So we will talk about continuous series in the next class, and also we will start the next topic, that will be mean deviation. In this chapter only we will talk about mean deviation. How do we calculate mean deviation? So we will talk about mean deviation and the question based on mean deviation. So this is it for today's session, Alexander and Steve. I hope everything that we have discussed in today's session is clear to both of you. So this is it from my side. Thank you so much for